Niger, how far now? All right, so considering that about 75 million Nigerians speak the Nigerian type of Pidgin English, it may be the most popular or maybe the most widely spoken, because there's Cameroonian Pidgin English, there is Ghanaian Pidgin English, there is Creole, also I think spoken in Sierra Leone. So do we appreciate our own Pidgin English as much as it is appreciated outside the country, especially when you consider that more than 17 Nigerian words, Nigerian Pidgin English words have made it into the Oxford English Dictionary in recent times? Well, there is a young man who appreciates what we have and is trying to preserve it and document it in a formal form. Let's welcome Mr. Marcus Ijoma, linguist and author, who has published Nigerian Pidgin English Dictionary, and I have it right here with me. Welcome, Mr. Ijoma.
Good to be here.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
We did fine. So we can, but as well, declare this a Pidgin English segment.
I'm a Pidgin advocate, so that's fine.
Brilliant. So first of all, what informed your decision to document it in a book, Nigerian Pidgin English?
Okay, so I studied languages and linguistics at the Benue State University. And while I was in school, we had issues with research. You know, whenever you're asked to, we studied, there's a core course called Pidgin English and Slangs, Pidgin and Creoles in the linguistics department. And so in the course of studying that, you realize that each time you were asked to investigate a word, it's difficult to find sources. And I thought to myself, there will be need for documentation, because for a language to become standardized, there's a need for documentation. And part of the documentation has to do with literatures being written, literary works being done in that language, as well as a dictionary. So since then, I've had that burden, and today is a reality.
And it's brilliant, because when I began to look into your dictionary, your Pidgin English dictionary, I began to find out that there are certain words that we just began to speak and we didn't necessarily know how it began, who used it first. For instance, Niger, who used it first? So, and you find that, you know, these things are well researched in the English dictionary when you know the root of the words, some of the English words that we speak. So for the quantum of research that went into it, how would you describe your findings during your research?
Quite hectic. Like, I quite agree with you. Some of them you can hardly trace their origin. If you notice, one of the, where we stopped with this project, because this is the first edition, it's the first of its kind, we had to stop here because we tried to find even the phonetic transcription for some of these words, and they were very difficult. Number one, most Nigerian languages don't have scholars in those languages who have done work. The earliest work we've had with our languages were the ones done courtesy of the missionaries, because they were trying very hard to translate Bible into our indigenous languages. And since then, because language is not something that you know, is politically beneficial, not a lot of investment has been done in the area of developing our languages. But the risk we are running is that some of these words are missing. Over time, if you notice, if you are like me, who was born in the 80s, some of the pidgin and slangs you were using in the 80s are gradually changing. And if you don't document them, in the next 10, 15, 20 years, those words are practically not existing anymore. I don't know if you're in my generation, but you have words like Opeke for a beautiful lady like you. Today is Bani. You know, there are many words for...
We no longer use Opeke for beautiful girls.
No, it's old school. You can't do that.
And I remember the old song, Opeke no be your no.
Yes,
okay.
Opeke na
yeah.
So we're in the same age group.
I'm not old.
So basically, I've been looking through, so it's a mixed bag of, I don't know whether there's Wari Pidgin here.
Of course.
Is this more Port? Because I grew up in Port Harcourt, so Shenkis, I'm seeing Bobby,
yes,
Allow,
Lap.
You
know what lap means, right?
Yeah, Pongpi.
To come, yeah?
So Pongpi, you know what Pongpi?
Yes, yes.
But Kola doesn't
I don't know.
He doesn't understand.
And I'm scared of the meaning.
No, okay, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, so is it a mixed bag of both the Warri, Port Harcourt, you know, there are variations?
I call it Nigerian Pidgin because I traveled a lot across Nigeria, Kano, Kaduna. While I was working on this, I was in Warri. Of course, we all respect the Warri Pidgin. And you know, the origin of Pidgin has to do with when people of different languages live in a particular place, they tend to come up with a language that is common with them. But one of the primary objectives of this project is for Nigeria to have a national language. It's something we've run away from for a very long time. We got stuck with Wazobia. And that's where we stopped. We tried to nationalize it by putting it on 15 naira note. I remember during Obasanjo's time, you had those major languages. And then they just put a lady to represent the minority group. But the question is, does Nigeria only consist of Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo? How do the other minority tribes have their sense of belonging? It is found in the Pidgin where we speak on daily basis because each language contributes to our Pidgin.
So I think what we may be thinking of, if I understand your advocacy well, should we be thinking of making Pidgin our third official language?
Not third, first.
Or first official language.
First. And it would not be pedestrian or regarded as low quality or a lower form of English.
Permit me to borrow the words of the great fella Anola Kokuti. How dare you call your own language vernacular? Which is the vernacular here? Is it English that is the vernacular or is Yoruba? It's English. Yoruba cannot be vernacular. Yoruba is not less superior to English language. Hausa is not less superior to English language. We were taught this thing by our colonial masters. Even the way we dress, we borrowed these things and we thought that, for us to be official, it has to be Queen's English. Does the Queen speak Urobo? Does the King of England speak Hausa or Ijo? But when you get to Nigerian Pidgin, because language kind of command loyalty. Language is culture, culture is language. They are all intertwined. So for us to have our identity, we need to come up with something that represents everybody, and that representation is found in Pidgin. So in one Pidgin sentence, you can find almost 3 Nigerian languages inside, and nobody's feeling bad or suspicious.
So this is a sort of a handshake across all cultures.
Thank you.
In Nigeria,
yes.
And an adoption of the Nigerian official language that you're advocating for.
Yes.
But what about those that would, not necessarily disagree with you, but pick holes in some of the introductions in your Pidgin English dictionary? For instance, I see here aka. Aka is hand in Igbo. Am I correct? There is akole. Akole is refuse collector in Yoruba. There is akara. I'm not quite sure. I don't want to be.
We call it bean scale.
Yeah, we have 30 seconds.
Akara should be, bean cake in Yoruba. If I'm correct, I hope I won't be. So some would say these are words borrowed from other Nigerian languages and not necessarily Pidgin.
English itself was borrowed. In English language, you find German, French, Latin. That's how they became English language. English language was in existence 700 years ago or 800 years ago. There was no language called English. English itself is a pidgin of another set of people who found themselves.
I like your advocacy.
So we appreciate our.
It reminds me of a song I used to hear, because I just pretend you're not hearing. A song I used to hear, Budaka. Police, waiting I do it. Ekele beo. Waiting I do it.
Police,
you carry nuga follow me say I blow Kumai. But Bukala is lost. But we're speaking English.
Just test time. Even if you know.
We're totally understand. But I understand. But great job you're doing. And I know that with time, let's see how this plays out. Thank you so much.
Sure.
So, just before we go, the title of Mr. Ijoma's book is Dictionary of Nigerian Pidgin and Slangs.
Thank you very much.
A beautiful piece of work. We hope that in the next edition, you would also have identified the root words of some
as many as possible.
As many as
words
possible.
are being discovered every day.
Yeah.
For instance, you don't have Odogu Parana here.
Yeah.
That came up after the book was released, but we have Odogu. Parana is another addition.
And
big time spender.
Achalugo. Totally out of time. But
how do we get the book, by the way?
Well,
you should put it online, actually.
We're working on putting it up on Amazon before the end of the month. It should be on Amazon. And then for now, we're just doing physical distribution. The soft copy will definitely be on Amazon any moment from now.
Fantastic.
By the end of the month,
Yeah.
Linguist himself and author Marcus Ijoma, who helped me to make Bukola to be lost in the conversation.
She needs to be super.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I like the worry brand of Pidgin.